Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos, and Austin Okonakman will join us from London much later on the program. But this is what the show looks like. We're going to be counting down to the Africa Cup of Nations. It's 30 days to go. Yes, today's 14th and on the 13th, that's when it will start. Of course, you know how the opening game is going to be. Nigeria is in that group Group A where you have the host nation. But we're going to be starting with some groups today because it's 30 days to go, and also we'll talk about NWFL. That's the games that were decided midweek on Wednesday. No, Wednesdays are for women's football, and of course Thursday, that's where we dissect all the games that were played across the country, and also history-making moments in the Premier League. That's the English Premier League, where you have Rebecca Welsh, because Sam Allison will be making history this weekend. And also we'll touch down on the UEFA Champions League. The reason being that, yes, they'll talk about Manchester United as it's another English team, Newcastle United. All they needed to do was to beat, and then they qualified, but they just couldn't do that. But Chukwueze had something to say about that, simply because he was the one who got AC Milan that goal. And of course, Newcastle out. We'll get reactions coming from the coach, Eddie Howe, how he's going to sack up his players to continue the run in the Premier League. And also, we'll touch down on, of course, the finalists. We have all of them. FIFA has been releasing the names of the 3 finalists of the different categories, from Coach of the Year, the Men's Player of the Year, Women's Player of the Year, and Goalkeeper of the Year. We have all of them. We'll be telling you about that on the program. Of course, I won't be doing the show alone this Thursday evening. Bolu Omoni is in the studio, and of course, Austin is in London. Yeah, we have to welcome Bolu first before we go to Austin. Bolu, great to have you on the program.
Yeah, good to be again on this beautiful day. And a day we are celebrating Chukwueze's beautiful goal yesterday in the UEFA Champions League. It's one of the things we've been saying about this guy. Step up, turn up at the right stage. Osime has been doing it for over a year now. Chukwueze, and of course the women. It's always exciting when you talk about the NWFL. What the men cannot do in the NWFL, the women are showing the graphics, everything. And while some teams are doing well, some are still yet to win in the NWFL.
Yeah, and some actually made history. I mean, the top flight team, Remo Stars ladies, got their first win of the season. And of course, what a better way to do it is do it against a big team, Edo Queens. Yes, to talk more about that. Austin, are you ready? Okay.
I was born ready, you know, and it seems like I got the color memo again tonight. Sporty greetings to you and everyone joining us on the show. Still an action-packed world of sports. Look, you know, each time I try to talk about football tells me, shut up, you don't know anything.
You know nothing.
Don't talk too much. Yesterday, I was so pumped up. I completely, you know, I thought Newcastle was going to make it, you know, to the next round of the UEFA Champions League. And what a time for AC Milan to show that they can actually keep that form that they showed us last season, you know. Big ups to Samuel Chukwueze, you know, putting Nigeria on the map and getting us talking. We'll talk about the UEFA Champions League tonight. Teams are also busy in the Europa League. I see Brighton in there trying to make a statement, and some other teams trying to get to the next round of the Europa League. We'll talk about it. Cecilia, I like what I see in the Nigeria Women's Premier League. What a story. FC Robo Queens went away, picked valuable points. And when Rivers United and Bielsa Queens meet, you know the ground is shaking, and they eventually share the spoils. Beautiful times for women's football development in Nigeria, and I'm sure each time we talk about these, people who are involved in the administration of football in Nigeria will see reason to give more to the women.
Yeah, more visibility, and of course pump in more money into that league. All right, we're going to start with the Nations Cup. 30 days to go for the Nations Cup. So we are starting our countdown today to the biggest showpiece on the continent. And of course, we're going to be looking at some groups. Yes, you look behind me, you just have it. Yeah, 30 days to go. Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. You hear they say Cote d'Ivoire 2023, yes, because it was supposed to be 2023, but then it's been to be held in 2024. So when you hear 2023, yes, it's still in the hopes, right? Bolu, yes, let's get it started with, you know, Cote d'Ivoire. Yes, we know they're ready, finishing touches to all the stadiums that will, finishing touches to the stadium, you know, where they will play the games and everything. Of course, we know everything is on track where the games will be taking place.
They have no choice now. They couldn't do 2023. Now we are moving to 2024. they cannot even think of giving us an excuse because we can't wait to get this started. Nigeria, we are probably, this is one of the best generations we've seen in Nigeria ever for a very long time. Say it all the time, we have one of the best forward line in the world of football, not just Africa. I don't think there are 2-3 countries that have better front line than Nigeria. And going to the midfield, maybe not in terms of numbers, but we still have quality and defense. That's where we are a bit thin, but indeed, it's still you can't count many DMs better than his form now is crazy. He plays even more forward for Leicester City in the championship. There are qualities everywhere. That's why I keep saying we have the best squad in Africa. Unfortunately, we are not a team yet. So we are rooting to go well to the tournament. Although we don't have any goalkeeper yet, but we still have about a month to prepare for the goalkeeper. Hopefully we get it right, but at least we can't wait for this tournament to start. Let's know where we are. If all these players we've gathered together are overhyped in terms of coming together as a team, or they can shock everybody come AFCON, but at least they have to start from the group stages. Hopefully they will progress from there. They will know what next to do.
Okay. Today we'll be focusing especially on what group B. But before that, he just talked about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So we're going to go to Victor Ekpeba talking about how the Super Eagles can be formidable at the Nations Cup. Some of the things they can actually do, and of course what the coach can do to ensure that yes, they will be able to do it again in Cote d'Ivoire in January.
I've played for this country before, and Nigerians love their football. Nigerians want to see their team doing well in every tournament, whether it's baby under 17 or the Super Eagles. I still have the belief that they can do it in Cote d'Ivoire, get it to the last 4. The potential is there, the talent is there. Yes, their last 2 outings have been very disappointing, but I will not condemn this team. Sometimes some of these boys don't know the importance of wearing the green and white jersey. Some of them need to be educated. So maybe some of these boys coming from abroad, those who played here and went abroad knows the importance of playing for the national team. These players have to show more desire, more passion, more commitment. Nigerians are unforgiving when their national team don't do well. They should know. I've been there before. So for me, we encourage them. They should have the belief. They can go there. I'm not putting pressure on them that they will need the Nations Cup. We've seen teams being precise and going out to tournaments and reacting positively and winning trophy. We saw in 2013, nobody gave this team any chance to win the Nations Cup, and they did. So I still smell the same surrounding with this generation of players. Yeah, Zimbabwe, Lesotho was really led and disappointing. So we have what it takes is for the manager to get the best from these players. That's all. If the manager can get the best from these players, we will be a threat in the Nations Cup in Cote d'Ivoire.
We will be a threat in Cote d'Ivoire. Austin, I know you're going to come in on this one because Bolo has already started the conversation with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We're going to look at Group B. But hey, we can't talk about the Nations Cup starting the countdown without talking about, of course, our own team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. How super are they? And do you really believe in what Victor Ekpeba says concerning the coach? And also, yeah, we don't have a team yet, but then it's something we can do.
Yeah, the Prince of Monaco, Victor Ekpeba was apt, particularly reminding us that Nigerian football followers will always put pressure. He said even if it's a baby cup and the Super Eagles are coming out to play, the fans expect you to win. That's what this current crop of Super Eagles players need to understand. And that's why some of them, when they go, oh, what's the big deal? You can't win at all times. Yes, when you wear the green, white, green colors, and the people are coming out to support you religiously, they expect you to win, And he said quite a number of things. He's optimistic that the Super Eagles can make it to the semifinals in Cote d'Ivoire. I'm not optimistic that they can make it to the semifinals. And look, my metrics are there. They're clear. From the friendly games they played against Saudi Arabia to Mozambique to other results that we saw, no, my confidence level has dropped to the Super Eagles. They need to show workings.
Where has it dropped
Victor
to?
Ekpeba mentions. Say that again.
Where has it dropped to? You can't even give them semi-final tickets. That's poor, Austin. Poor rating.
Cecilia, have you seen what other countries in Africa are doing with their football. We'll soon get to Group B, where you see Ghana and Egypt. Egypt made it to the final. Now, all of those North African teams that made it to this competition in Cote d'Ivoire, they're coming there to make a statement.
Okay.
All of them. You see the guys from the Kosafa region, they are coming to make a statement. You guys are forgetting so soon. Last edition, we talked about Gambia and the things they did. We talked about Sierra Leone and the things they did. We talked about Equatorial Guinea. We talked about Guinea-Bissau. Nigeria defeated Egypt in Cameroon. Egypt went to the final. Football is changing. The dynamics aren't the same anymore. And that's why if you want people to give you 100% confidence, say, take my weapon, go to war for me, you must show workings. And we must go back to where you are coming from, because you're as good as your last result. Wolo just said it he didn't blink, he didn't stutter. He said we don't have goalkeeper. Super Eagles of Nigeria. Cecilia, that's a crisis in itself. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, from the days let's go back to 1980 to Vincent Inyama, there was never a time the country called Nigeria lacked good goalkeepers, lacked bad goalkeepers.
Okay.
But now we are saying we don't have goalkeepers. That's a problem. So my confidence has dropped, and it's because of the results. But he made something very clear. He said the coaches need to know the players, the players need to understand the mission, and the coaches need to know how to use the players, and then hopefully we'll start saying beautiful things when the AFCON starts in Cote d'Ivoire, Cecilia.
Okay, before we move away from the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because they are not our focus today, but Bolu, you listen to Victor Kleba. Do you agree with him? We don't have goalkeepers, and then the coach doesn't really know his players. He needs to know the players and understand how to use them.
I've heard many people say Super Eagles players are overhyped. I tell them no. We see these guys for their club. You can't be here from the club. If you are dropping nationality, maybe this way, but if you are dropping completely, it means there's something they are not doing together in training. And football is simple. If you don't train it, you can't do it on match day. It's as simple as that. It feels like the coach don't understand the formation that will suit these players well. He probably doesn't understand them in training. They have to find it. We have like a month. Many of them, especially the guys in England, may not come until after the new year, but those that can be available, listen to what the Kleber said. He said, we can do what we did in 2013. Many didn't believe them. You remember how far Keshi stuck with these guys, especially the home base, kept on training them constantly. We need to resume camp early. We need to get the solution. Do we have the players? Yes, we do. But if we don't work together as a team, what happened to us the last time it happened? Pick up 9 points in the group stage and lose the next match in the knockout phase. Do we have especially forward line? Boniface and the two victors are enough for our front line. But how are we struggling to score goals? If you don't create, you don't score. If you don't train well to create, it won't happen as a magic on match day.
I think I agree with that, because I had a conversation with Christian Chukwu Fidmashea himself on Sunday when he talked about the fact that we do not have a team. That when you have a coach bringing players 3 days to tournament, train 1 day, and then they go play game, and then they go back. That's what we keep having. So when you don't have a team at all, you don't have a coach who stay in Nigeria, and you don't have the teams always together, it will be difficult. Definitely. Let's see what we're going to do. Is we have 30 days to the Nations Cup. See what's going to happen before that. Yes, Joseph Peseri is still the coach, but I think there was a story before now that when his contract was extended, he will leave in Nigeria, but we don't know what's currently happening. Okay, let's leave the Super Eagles now and talk about the real group we want to talk about today. We'll spend like 14 minutes talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yes, because we want to see if we can do it again in Cote d'Ivoire, win it for the 4th time. Now, Group B, you have teams that have won it over and over again. Egypt, it's in that group. Ghana is in that group, winners. And of course, you have Cape Verde, who hasn't won it before. And of course, Mozambique, who also haven't won it before. So we can just take a look at that group, what is looking like before we dissect these teams. Let's start with the slide, the focus of today, which we have our group now. I'll just go to the screen and, of course, to talk about the matches now. January 18th, you have Egypt and Ghana. That's when they will be playing in the Africa Cup of Nations. You have Egypt and Ghana. So special focus on Group B today, as I mentioned earlier. So you have Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, and Mozambique. This is the group. We'll flip over to what we saw earlier. That's the time for all the games. So Egypt and Ghana, well, they'll be facing each other on the 18th of January. Egypt and Mozambique will start the action on the 14th, and Ghana and Cape Verde will also play that same day. So, and of course, the game we saw earlier, Egypt and Ghana, who lock on January 18th. So that's what Group B is looking like. Now, let's start off with Egypt, because we see Cape Verde and Mozambique, of course, that will be the next day, which is on the 19th. And of course, you now have Cape Verde and Egypt, which on the 22nd, and Mozambique and Ghana. That's how they will wrap it up. That's what Group B matches is like in the Africa Cup of Nations. Now, let's start with Egypt. Yes, Egypt have won it 7 times. We talked about last year, where last edition 2021 they were runner-up, and not just that. I mean, 57, 59, 86, 98, 2006, 2008, and of course 2010. That's the last time they won it. So Mo Salah, of course, is hungry to get a title.
Egypt, the greatest men's team in Africa, because they are not the greatest overall. The Super Falcons are the greatest overall. But the best men's team, like you rightly said, 7 titles for them. They want this title. They want to win it again. And they have an Abu Cherika and Mo Salah. He's been disappointing, according to many in quotes, because he's not led them to win it what they think is their best right now. They are going in again. They were this close last time. In fact, their bogey team became Senegal, beat them in the final, also defeated them in the playoffs going to the World Cup. So now they want. At some point, Egypt were somehow not Egypt we knew. Later on, they picked themselves, especially with the start of the World Cup qualifiers. Now they are in good form. Mo Salah is in good form for his club as well. If he's not scoring, he's creating goals for them. So they need to bring that form. All hopes, the entire hope of the Egyptian national team will be on Mo Salah. They need it to turn up. If Egypt should win the AFCON, just forget Salah is the best player for next year. So that's the idea. All hopes, all belief will be on Mo Salah, and he will find a way. He needs to find a way to turn up for them. But like I said about the Super Eagles, the first hurdle, the first assignment is in the group. They are the best ranked team in that group, and obviously you expect them to pick, if not 9 points, pick up 7 points from that group.
Interesting. Austin, I mean, Egypt, Mo Salah, I mean, this is the man who wants to, he's hungry for something. He was nearly there the last time, but this time around, you have a Ghana in the group who hasn't won it since 1978.
That's right, Cecilia, and that's why Egypt will say Ghana isn't the problem. You know, and while we take a look at Egypt and expect them to repeat what they did in Cameroon, pressure is on this guy, you know, because it will be good to see him lead the Pharaohs of Egypt to an AFCON, title. But it was tough. It was tough for them in Cameroon because of how they started. And somehow when they started picking up and everything, they got to the final. But I said something is important. Momentum, when you build it, don't lose it. Look at Senegal at that competition till they got to the final. They kept getting better and better. And though Egypt showed a lot of resilience in the final, they were very disciplined side, they were tight, they were compact in midfield. It was just, supposed to be for Senegal. Senegal went on to win it. But in that Group B, Ghana. I'm not concerned about Egypt, Cecilia and Bolu. I'm concerned about Ghana. Ghana needs to show workings. Let me remind Ghanaians watching this show, last edition, Ghana was in Group C. And that Group C had Morocco, Gabon, Comoros, and Ghana. Morocco topped that group with 7 points. Gabon finished second with 5 points. Comoros was third with 3 points. Ghana was at the bottom with 1 point. This is tough analysis. You don't even have to be a Ghanaian. If you follow African football, you can know that if Ghana, if they have their way, they will shred the history of the AFCON in Cameroon. Now, pressure is on them again. And if you look at the country I just mentioned, they have even better potential banana skin in Cape Verde and Mozambique. And let me tell you how tricky it is. Egypt and Mozambique will start that Group B at the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. Ghana and Cape Verde will play. So let's say something goes wrong, because this thing always happen with football. Let's say Egypt beats Mozambique and Ghana goes on to play a draw or even lose to Cape Verde. That's a problem, because the next match is Egypt versus Ghana. So more problems for the Black Stars of Ghana. They must find a way to make use of the talents that they have. I was watching the other day, I was at the Olympic Stadium to see Mohamed Kudus, such a fantastic player, and he's been consistent. I'm sure when Partey comes back, he will also be on fire. Look, they just need to find a way to play as a team and be results oriented. Otherwise, it will be back-to-back sad stories, super duper sad stories for the Black Stars of Ghana, because Mozambique is now a pushover team. Cape Verde is that team that will stun any big team in Africa on their good day. I love the fact that it will be competitive, you know. I know we need to go on a quick break. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. When we come back, we'll still take a look at, you know, what to expect from the AFCON, and then get into the best awards, and then get into the NWFL. I know Cecilia wants to talk about that one. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back to Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations that will take place in Cote d'Ivoire. Our special focus tonight is on Group B. Group B has got runners-up from last edition, Egypt. There's also Ghana in there. There's Mozambique, and there's Cape Verde. I'll just let Bolu in a minute. Are you part of those football fans that will just look at Group B and say it's Ghana and Egypt that will advance?
Naturally, you should want to beat your chest that it should be Egypt and Ghana, no problem. Egypt, 7-time champions, Ghana, 4-time champion. But most of the time, it doesn't work like that. And like you always say, everyone likes the Cinderella story. If you check, for example, Mozambique have participated here more than Cape Verde. But Cape Verde have progressed to the quarterfinal once, whereas Mozambique have never gone beyond the group stage. So I think I would agree a bit with Austin that the threats for Ghana have to be Cape Verde, not even Mozambique that some are looking at. That opening match is very important. Like they say in every major tournament, start well. Because if the third game is Ghana versus Egypt, you say, oh, okay, both of them can pick as many points as they can. But the second game is Ghana-Egypt. And based on form, based on everything, you may want to tilt towards Egypt. So Egypt have to do Ghana have to do everything they can to beat Cape Verde in the opening game. And we know how much Super Eagles sweated in the previous games against this Cabo Verde, like they like to call them. So it's definitely going to be a tall order. But the good news is there will be 4 third best placed teams. Yeah. So at least if you don't make the top 2, bad, like they say, local palace, you should be good enough to make third. But last AFCON, Ghana finished 4th. So let's see what they can do this time around.
Wow, not looking pretty for them. Maybe because you remember 1978 when they won it for the 3rd time, they were permanently awarded the very first trophy. They still have that trophy, right? Maybe if they let it go, maybe they can win it, because you won't be the first nation to win it 3 times and you have the trophy. And since then, they've never won it. What is wrong with Ghana? They want to compete with Nigeria. Come on, we won it recently.
They'll be waiting for Nigeria to go over there. So
yeah, I think that's what it is. So we need to win it. We need to win it next year.
So we can tie 4-4.
Yeah, so we'll have that, and then that's when they can wake up. All right, let's leave that, and of course, take our focus to the FIFA Best. Yes, the award is going to be in London. I wish I would be there. January 15th. But Nations Cup would have started. We don't know where we're going to be at that time. But that's when the winners will be announced. But let's just take a look at the best, FIFA Best Awards, starting off with Coach of the Year. Now you have Pep Guardiola, of course, of Manchester City, Simeone Inzaghi of Inter Milan, and Luciano Spalletti, that's head coach, Italian head coach. That's for the men. He's also a coach of Napoli to win the Scudetto after a long time. Okay, now let's go to the goalkeepers. Men's goalkeeper, Yassine, of course. I think he's up for this one. Thibaut Courtois is also there, and Ederson is here. I don't know if there's any contest about this one, but this is the FIFA Best Awards. Now let's flip over to the other awards. The finalists for that: Men's Player of the Year, Erling Haaland is Norway and Manchester City, Kylian Mbappe, France, PSG, and of course Lionel Messi, Argentina, and Inter Miami in the US. Now for the women, that's where we're going to now. No, coach, okay, finalist for women, Jonathan Jurades of Barcelona. He won the Champions League. They lost just 1 game all through season last year. That's a coach, 1 game. Wow. MIS of Chelsea, she will be coaching the US national women's team after the season is over, of course. Serena Vigma, she took England to the World Cup final, Australia and New Zealand. That's Women's Coach of the Year, the final 3. Now, the goalkeepers, the finalists: Mackenzie Arnold, Australian. She plays for West Ham United. Catalina Cole, she, of course, the goalkeeper for Barcelona. She plays for Spain. And Miriam, of course, Manchester United. And for England, 3 Lionesses. So the women's player finalist, Atana Bomanti of Spain and Barcelona. She already won the Ballon d'Or. Something else is coming, Linda Caicedo, because we saw what she did at the World Cup, Colombia and Real Madrid, and Jennifer Hermoso, of course. I'm wondering what she's doing here, boy. That's the women's finalists. But I think the first 2, yes, we can take that. So that's what it is for the FIFA best. Austin, I mean, we've seen all the names, the goalkeepers, the men's player of the year, women's player of the year, the coaches for the men and the women. Is there a name that should be here that is not here? Well, we're just okay with the 3 finalists.
I think I'm okay with it, particularly with the FIFA Best Awards. Somehow, some way, it represents the names I want to see. You just questioned Jennifer Hermoso. Now you're wondering why the name was there. Was that what you said, Cecilia?
Yeah.
Jennifer Hermoso.
Yeah.
This is enough to be.
Yeah. She was, of course. She was fantastic. Yes, she was fantastic. I know.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, because when you said it, I'm like, no, Jennifer Hermoso should be in there, and you might just be shocked. That's the FIFA Best Award for you. They might just give it to her, and you know why. Just to empower women, just to keep that campaign going because of, what happened right after the World Cup and the controversial case and all of that. So I'm sure she was really inspiring, to that Spanish team going on to win the FIFA Women's World Cup. So I like it. I just want to talk about Haaland. This man, football loves this man. So people keep asking, how come he gets into the shortlist? Football will be sad if you are doing a major world awards and Lionel Messi is not on the list. Football will be so sad. If you're kicking the ball all over the world, it will be deflated. There will be no air inside. The fans love Lionel Messi, but let's talk about Haaland and why they should just give him that award. This guy is a beast. I've said it over and over again. Test him for the alien DNA. Let's go to 2022-2023 season in the UEFA Champions League. He played 11 matches and scored 12 goals. This season, he has played 5 matches and he has scored 5 goals. Last year in the Premier League, last season, 2022-2023, he made 35 appearances in the Premier League, not a competition now, and he scored 36 goals. Last season in the UEFA Champions League, in the Premier League, this season, he has appeared 15 times and he has scored 14 goals. Now, tell me, how do you describe consistency? In the Manchester City team, when they're struggling, Erling Haaland just finds a way to step up. So, if football doesn't just want to say, oh, Messi, we hail you, we adore you, you are the alpha of football, take your award, they should just give it to Haaland so the world can have peace, because he has been outstanding. He has been phenomenal.
Yeah, we can contest that. Okay, Bolu, I got to you here.
Well, my decision with Austin is in 2 ways. First off, obviously, I'm also one of the best players at the last Women's World Cup, and except the controversy that surrounded her, I would have loved to see the young Pararolo involved as well. But who do you take out among the 3 women that were there? But the first problem I have is the Women's Coach of the Year. You have the Champions League winning coach with also league winner, no problem. Emma Hayes also won the league with Chelsea, no problem. But how do you have Serena Wegman who finished second? I don't have Ogevilda who won the title himself.
You should know the reason why.
And that is off the field.
No, it can be.
The tournament is what happened on the field, and he is not the one who got involved in the kiss and everything. That's the former president. So on this one, you can't choose. It's like choosing second over first. That's exactly what FIFA did here. Then let's move on to the men's player of the year. There's no way in this lifetime anybody will tell me Messi was top 3 best player based on the years they gave. They gave December 19th. That was the day after the World Cup final until August 8th. Literally, the season ended first or second week in June. Between that period, Messi played probably about 20 games or thereabout. Between that period, there were more. I'll pick Osimhen over Messi in that period of time. Lots of players. It just shows what many have been saying, that many of these awards have lost it. Messi has done a whole lot of things in his career. You have to be high on something we don't know to disagree with that one. But for the period that was selected, Messi should not even be nominated among the top 10. Unfortunately,
he won the league title with PSG.
Everybody won the league title with PSG. Mbappe did. Hakimi also did. Many players won it with them. If you say one the best player, then why not pick the best player in Spain as well? Why not pick Vinicius, who had better numbers than Messi in the same period of time? I would rather just have all Man City players. You can't tell me Messi in that period was better than Kevin De Bruyne. You can't tell me was better than Rodri. The likes of Bernardo Silva. Go to Inter Milan. You talk about Brozovic, talk about Lautaro Martinez and the likes. It is best player for a period of time.
Because Martinez is not here. Since Martinez, Messi has no business being here because you're not going to look at the World Cup. You're looking at
even the last year one he won. There were a bit of controversy that he scored just 6 league goals in the league and everything, and they said the World Cup. Remember they extended down to like 18 months. Naturally it's a year, but World Cup was involved. Everyone had to back out.
Because of the time the World Cup was played, that's why it had to
But
come
now
down.
you have to tell us it was a day after World Cup to August that we just said, nah, there's no way Messi should be there. But again, the people, that's what happens in a popularity contest award. Most of the time the favorites always get. So don't be shocked if Messi wins. But if I can't vote, I'll definitely go for Erling Haaland that Austin rightly said. Treble winner, lots of goals. I think I'll vote for Haaland if I can.
Okay, so we end it there and quickly go to rescheduled games for the rescheduled game for MPFL, the Rivers United. That game, do we still have? Okay, yeah. No, Rivers, we're going to talk about the rescheduled game, Nigerian Premier League. That's talking about
Bayelsa United.
Bayelsa and Rivers United. That game, it ended. I mean, Rivers United, because of their position, you're thinking they need to do better before. But before that, yes, I think we don't need to go to NWFL yet because I'm kind of, my brain is filled up. All right, let's go to Nigerian Women's Premier League. Talk about the match day 5, the games that were decided on Wednesday. Yes, we have it right now. Just run through the results and then we'll take a look at the one that is really striking in the games. Dana's Ladies defeating Royal Queens in Lagos by 2-1. Confluence Queens and Abia Angels, that ended in favor of Confluence Queens. And Remo Stars Ladies, this happens to be their first win of the season, beating Edo Queens. And Remo Stars Ladies is coached by the former coach of Edo Queens. That game ended 2-0 in favor of the home team. Delta Queens and FC Robo ended 1-1. FC Robo going to the home of the champions to collect 1 point. Let's flip over to other results on match day 5. Adamawa Queens, the unbeaten run of Nassau Amazons all over. Adamawa Queens were responsible for that 2-1. Ekiti Queens and Sunshine Queens 1-0. Bayelsa Queens and Rivers Angels. Austin mentioned that game earlier. It was a tight one, and of course, it ended 1-0. They had to share the spoils, the Niger Delta Derby. And of course, Niger Ratters and Heartland Queens 8 goalless. Heartland Queens have lost just one game this season, and when you look at the table, the way it's sitting pretty, you know the teams that are actually on the table. But Bolu, first, let me come to you on this one. I mean, we talked about how when you look at Nigerian women, how competitive it is, because of how you can't even predict the team that will win when you're going into different match days. I mean, nobody expected Edo Queens to go to, to go to Ramos Stars and lose that game. But Innocent Patricia, 7 minutes into the game, she scored the first goal. Before you have Esther Ogbonna Kudo, the former Edo Queens player, scored 40th minute, and second half, Edo Queens could not retaliate, so it ended in favor of the home team.
But just like Ramos said, Ekiti also picked up their first win against a poorer team in Sunshine Stars. It's just, you have to give kudos to what Remo are doing. I mean, Remo as a franchise, as a word like that for our league, the men are doing so well. What the men are doing, if you don't win, just don't lose. Because despite picking up their first win, they've only lost one game so far in the season, gradually going that way. If you can't win games, let's try as much as we can to get the draw. And that was a very, very impressive win against a top side. That a win for Edo Queens could have kept them comfortably at the top of the group, but Remo Lady said no, we're going to pick up our first win here against a top position. Like you rightly said, former players from Edo, former coach from Edo Queens against them. Sometimes these things happen. It plays in the mind. We saw the same thing with Idris Agay against Shooting Stars. Sometimes they be, I know these guys. That mentality of this coach understands what we'll do. Okay, I know Cecilia, she likes to cut in from the left. Make sure you don't let her do that. I know Bolu, he likes to cross in from the right side, stop him from doing that. We could could see what happened. Edo Queens don't concede that much. They conceded 2 goals to an unknown team in quotes. I think that's very, very impressive for the Remo Stars ladies.
That's why it's always good to shop well when you're coming into the top flight football. That's what Remo Stars ladies have done, and that's the reason they are where they are. Austin, you mentioned the Rivers Angels and the Bayelsa Queens game earlier. Muturaya Ezekiel was the one who gave Rivers Angels the lead 3 minutes into the game. But then in second half, Rose Ekong equalized 55 minutes on the dot. That's when she equalized, and it ended 1-1, sharing the spoils right there. And when you look at the league table, Bayelsa Queens, the top in that group B. Yes, it's early, but somehow you have to start early because of the way it is. I mean, you have Group A and Group B. It's more like a bridge. So if you start early, you're bound to get into the Super 6.
That's right, and that's why Delta Queens should be worried in that Group B now because of the sort of results, they recorded. I have a shout out to Confluence Queens and Bayelsa Queens. They're still unbeaten. Confluence Queens leading the Group A table, while Bayelsa Queens are leading the Group B table. Now, if you take a look at that game between Bayelsa Queens and Rivers Angels, if there's any team that Bayelsa shouldn't lose to in the league, they will tell you that it's Rivers Angels, because they want to keep territorial rights going. So the bragging rights still stays, particularly when they have to fight back, to draw level after conceding that early in the game against Rivers Angels. And Rivers Angels, fair enough, that Group B, we knew, Cecilia, right from when the draw was done, we knew it was going to be very tight. So as I take a look at it now, Bayelsa Queens top with 9 points, Edo Queens are second with 9 points, Rivers Angels follows in third with 8 points, and then there is FC Robo Queens, that vital draw that they picked away against Delta Queens with 8 points. So you see that this is going to be a fight. Remo Stars is down there in fifth with 6 points, and then there's Delta Queens with 6 points. And just as you said, if you don't start getting those results in now, then it will be very, very tough, because teams will try as much as they can to make sure that they stay in that position that will take them to the Super 6 where they can contest, for the league title. So I love it. I love that it is competitive. Yeah. I love that we're talking about Danas ladies. I love that we're talking about Remo Stars ladies. In fact, Heartland, they are second on the Group A, and they are doing so well. Heartland Queens doing well. Heartland men, you know the story.
One win.
So I like the fact that women's football is getting us to, talk about football. And as I said at the start of the show, I hope this will motivate everyone that is involved in the administration of women's football to do more, invest in the sports, give it more visibility, and let it be viable so it can empower young girls.
So we're after Royal Queens and Sunshine Queens are the two teams that are yet to pick up a win this season. All right, let me quickly touch down on the one I was eager to talk about, Rivers United. Maybe because of their precarious situation in the league table, yes, they needed the win. But Rivers United, Bayelsa United, what were you expecting going into that game and at the final result?
Well, like what we saw, the women here, Bayelsa Queens and Rivers Angels, this time around, Rivers United show we are the superior side. Yeah, people saw the league table and felt, what are Rivers United doing in relegation zone? They had about 4-5 games outstanding. Yeah, they picked up the first win, now they moved into the top half of the season. If they win 2 of those ones, are going into the top 4. So it shows the reason they were down is not just because they were losing games, but because of their continental duties. And good goal, it feels like Enyima Nwango has picked up his form, scoring goals for them. Himself and Yoel Bernard got the 2 goals for Rivers United against Bayelsa United. And that win was very, very key. That win was very important for them to push them up. Now that their next phase of continental games will be played midweek, they have to find a way to make sure they play games in weekend, because sometimes compiling outstanding games doesn't suit you. Because it is game at hand, it is the game you've played that counts. Not, I have 5 outstanding game permutations. If I win 4, good win for them. Let's see how far they can go. Maybe they will continue. It could also help them on their continental games as well. They have 3 more games to play. They should win 2. If they win 2 of them, they are through. But if you keep winning on the home front, it will help your confidence going into the continental games for Rivers United.
Interesting. So Rivers United, they're growing it, they're winning it. Let's see how many they can win to climb out of that precarious situation they are in right now. All right, Austin, we're going to go to England now. Now, this is history making. Rebecca Ward, she will become the first female referee to officiate a Premier League match when she will be in charge of the game between Fulham and Burnley, December 23rd. Now, that's how right there. Okay.
Yeah. And this is so good for, women referees in the United Kingdom. I was listening to her on radio today, and she's so pumped up about it. And look, it will motivate a lot of people. The professional game match officials that are in charge of the referees confirmed the appointment on Thursday, December the 14th, and also said Sam Allison would become the first black official to take charge of a Premier League match in 15 years. So it's a good one. And for us back home, we should see this as what we always talk about, Cecilia. That when you can't kick a football, there are other aspects that you can do well. You can become a coach, you can become a physio, you can become a match official. There's just so many ways football can empower people. And for her, she's just a match referee, but look at it now. She's gotten into the record books as the first woman to officiate a Premier League game, Cecilia.
Yeah, I'm happy that, that's why I love Nigeria. We don't wait for these people. I mean, we started it like long time ago. We've had a woman coach a men's team, already in Nigeria. Also, late, I'm trying to remember her name now, she's late now. Yeah. We've had the coach in the men's team, though it was second division. Then we've had, weekends, we've seen women, center referees, in MPFL. So England, I think they're finally waking up, because I remember she was the fourth official for Fulham and Manchester United game last month. Now she'll be the center referee for this game. That's the difference. Yes, they've been on the upside holding the flag, but now she will be the main woman. She's been a regular in the Women's Super League, so now she will be, there. I think England, finally they're waking up. But the black man, the first one in 15 years, I'm like, these guys should, okay, well, yeah.
For that one, I think it's just a renewal, not a record per se, because we've had before. Unfortunately, I think, recently we had the first black man being a fourth official or linesman. Now he's going to be the first in 15 years to stay. But the woman taking charge has to be the center referee. We've had them, like you rightly said, in MPFL. UEFA took the lead, bringing a woman to blow the Super Cup, the Champions League, then FIFA follows suit. Now, when England doesn't believe me, every other top league will be bringing their name one. I think we have one in Germany as well. So
you're sure they've not been doing it?
Yeah, they
That's
could.
The thing, because
it's always England. They have
it's
the
supposed to be natural.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So when we hear stories like this, you're wondering how this is supposed to be a normal thing. It's supposed to be a normal thing. As long as you're good, you're good at it.
If you're good enough, you're old enough, like the same football time. So it doesn't matter.
You also need to
on the field.
Let me just come in, Cecilia. They want to promote diversity. They want to promote inclusion, but don't forget that the English Premier League is very pacey. It's very pacey. You need to keep up with that pace.
And you think women cannot do that? They just woke up to know that women can't do that, right? They just woke up to it to know that women can't do that, right? They finally woke up that women can actually do it.
They've been doing it. They've been doing
that's
that.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the role they've been given that
level that they expect you to
so
be.
So they think they're not fit enough. Other leagues are doing it. They're not fit enough
to get into the setting.
Austin, accept it. They woke up so late. You think a Premier League should be taking the lead? Not at this time. How many years since the Premier League started, and you're celebrating they're having the first woman? Like, I'm actually not happy about it, because I know the fact that Nigeria won't be doing it for a very, very long time. I've watched games where you have women as the center referee. So kudos to Nigerian Premier League for taking that step. England, yes, finally they are awake. So okay, we can actually clap for them. Austin, you're happy with that, right?
Yeah, Rebecca Welch, congratulations. Sam Allison, congratulations. We love it. A woman making record and a black man also getting into the record. Cecilia, that's a good place for us to live. I don't know if we've got some time to talk about Newcastle.
Yeah, I think, briefly. Just briefly. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Howe, has been talking. I feel for him because, I think he's done a fantastic job with the Magpies, but it is what it is. At the UEFA Champions League, you need to come with your A game. They had no reason conceding that goal at the time that they did. I thought they did just good enough to, make it to the next round, but it's not happening. And Eddie Howe must just find a way to put this team together, see how they can make an impression in the Premier League and, keep staying relevant. I think that's how far we can go on the show. Maybe Cecilia, you're going to launch anyhow for our viewers to listen before we wrap up the show. That's it from me in London, Austin Okonakwa. And in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, let's quickly, we talked about Chukwueze, that superb strike that actually sealed the 2-1 win for AC Milan. And now, they are in Europa League spots. Newcastle, of course, they are back in England. No more continental, no more European ticket.
Sadly, football is just about fine margins. Yeah. Newcastle could be the one in the knockout phase of the Champions League if they had maintained that 1-0 lead. Yeah. But football happened. Football is about 90 minutes. Yeah. And AC Milan got the better of them after all and picked the Europa League spot.
All right, Bolu, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Always a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. I will leave you with the voice of Eddie Howe talking about the game against AC Milan. Good night.
Well, absolutely. I think any time you don't achieve what you want, you have a setback, you have a disappointment, you have to use it as fuel, and that's very much always been my way. So the pain that you feel now is motivation for tomorrow. And we now have to focus on the Premier League and have to try and make sure we get our form in the Premier League as strong as we can. And for me, there's nothing but positive thoughts about the team and what they're giving. But of course, now we have to make sure we're consistent in the Premier League. Yeah, the second goal, as I said, both teams were going for the win. So I remember Fabian breaking through with the ball and trying to play a 1-2 with Alex around the box, and we're probably very close to getting in and scoring ourselves. And then seconds later, we're being counter-attacked on, and they score. So you're playing AC Milan in the Champions League. That's you have to get everything right, and if you don't, you'll get punished. The pain doesn't really change. It's regardless of competition. Pain doesn't choose. Oh well, it's this competition. It's worse. It's the same. You've lost a game. You've exited a competition or two competitions you're desperate to be in. So, but as I said, that always fuels me. I'm man enough to take it, because you have to then look to tomorrow and rebuild.